Yeah, my question is first to Kolbrún, Prime Minister, if she could answer. When people will research John's material, they will stumble upon secret societies like the Bilderberger Group, which has been a group meeting every year, but has had a media blackout. Nobody has spoken about it in public. But these are the highest people in the media of the governments and all over the world. I want to ask her if she knows, because there are confirmed Bilderbergers in our government, like David Oddsson, Björn Bjarnason, and some others. But those two are confirmed. Have been many times. And I would also ask, I would ask John if he could elaborate on the Bilderberg Group.
Okay. And one question over here.
I have a burning question about our resources. I don't know which one the President of the Council would like to answer, but it concerns our resources. Is it possible that we have, is it coincidence or is it a conspiracy? A former economic hitman might be able to answer that in all those discussions, we never hear mention of enormous supplies of fresh water for which the world is going to be, dying, in the future.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
We'll start with the first one here. I'm not sure capitalism is the best system at all, but I'm 64 years old, and I want to see change happen in my lifetime, and I don't think we're going to get rid of it in my lifetime. Maybe you will in Europe, maybe come up with a better system. I think there's a lot of room to reform the capitalistic system. I don't think capitalism depends on growth in materialistic consumption. Growth can occur in many, many different ways, and I spent a lot of time with indigenous people, and they grow spiritually, they grow in their understanding of plants, of nature. There's many ways that we can grow. We define capitalism recently as being very materialistic, and in fact being materialistic and producing things really most of us don't need, and are not good for the earth. But we do need to grow more food for starving people. We do need to shift into energy sources that are sustainable rather than petroleum. So right now, and in my lifetime, I can see tremendous room for growth in those things that we really, really need to take advantage of. And I think it's very important that we explore other alternative systems as we move down, especially younger people. But I don't expect to see that happen in my lifetime. But I do see a lot of room where capitalism can be channeled into doing things that are much more beneficial and sustainable for the planet. As far as the military is concerned, as I pointed out before, in countries where women have more control, military spending goes down, police spending goes down, education goes up, healthcare goes up, and violence goes down. I think we need to move out of that totally. And this new empire is not created for the most part of the military, but it's certainly been there in Iraq and Afghanistan. But I think that's on the decline, and I want to see it on more decline. We need to force that. So we had another one that I needed to address, and I can't remember up here. Water. Yeah, I did mention that you have tremendous water resources up here, and that's terribly important. Guard them, protect them, use them wisely. I just came from Nicaragua, where Nicaragua has two huge lakes. You can't see across them. They're terribly polluted. We polluted them. The United States, a lot more polluted by Dole and Chiquita and our big agribusinesses. But they can be cleaned up. There's a little boat that you can buy for $40 million. If you have about 24 of those, you can clean up these lakes. And I often think, what if in the United States we took a percentage of our military budget, we could pay the same companies like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and General Dynamics that are currently making missiles and tanks and AK-47s. What if instead we paid these companies to come up with ways to clean up the polluted rivers and lakes and the oceans polluted, and to clean up polluted lands, and they can create a whole new economy? What if we pay these companies like Monsanto that are currently producing GMOs and making farmers totally dependent on their chemicals? What if instead we pay them to come up with ways for the starving people of the world to feed each other? There's a lot of creative minds that we can channel in new directions. We just need to be creative about it. And water is huge. It's huge, and we all know that.
My question, we want more about whether it was a coincidence or a conspiracy of some kind, or just plain ignorance that I was not talking about you personally, that this discussion about the fresh drinking water that we can supply has not been, to my knowledge, been raised. Is it, are we being ignorant?
That's
Yeah, I can't answer that. I address it. I think about it a lot. I address it. That I agree. Water is not put in the same category as oil, and it's even more efficient. Sure, we all have to have water. So you get it. This is one of your passions. You have talents in this area. You have knowledge. Get it out there. Take it out there. Take it to the world. Get the world to talk about it.
I'm retiring.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, if you're retiring, nobody can fire you.
Don't forget that he's saying that we need more female power out there, so take on the water issue.
Dear guests, I would like to thank you all for this meeting, but somehow I have the feeling that the crowd that is in here is not exactly the crowd that we have to convince. But please go out there and bring the message from this meeting out to people. Talk to it, talk with everybody in the confirmation parties that you are attending during Easter. Please don't stop. Just don't hesitate to talk to everybody about these burning issues. But I tried. I have a question about the Bilderberger Group and about Davíð Oddsson and Björn Bjarnason. They are not in the government. They have been, and they have been extremely powerful, but they are not today. Look at Björn Bjarnason. Down at the parliament, trying to convince the parliamentary group of the Independence Party that this course that they are now fighting for to get to overthrow the idea that the nation, the people, should rule their own national resources. They are fighting day after day after day now, the whole parliamentary group, because they don't want to give the nation the right to decide how to use the natural resources. This is pathetic. So, please, there are no Bilderbergers in the minority government.
But what do you know about those organizations?
But I would like to tell you that about Snorri's question, it's extremely interesting. Can we change the capitalistic system without using violence ourselves? My answer is yes, we can. I used to be an activist, and I was standing down in front of the House of Parliament doing what Snorri has been doing for the last 10 years. I decided to try and go in there and change the word from inside. I'm in this minority government now. I am a Minister of the Environment. I've only been for several weeks, but I am changing the capitalistic system from within, and I haven't been using violence. So I say yes, it is possible. John has showed us that it is possible. Of course, I understand the eagerness, the wrath, and all the angerness that young people tend to have against this system now. So, I mean, I understand quite well, but it's not the only way.